Now at 9, we're going to hear about a money disagreement between the city of Carthage and the Carthage Humane Society.
President Biden repeats his call for changing Senate filibuster rules to codify abortion rights into law, but he admits doing so is a long shot. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan AUBEY. There may be changes coming to how the city of Carthage handles stray animals. The Carthage Humane Society and the city are negotiating their annual contract for the intake of animals from animal control. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke with the city administrator.
Carthage Humane Society is seeking more funding from its annual contract with the city of Carthage. They want to increase their funding from $36,000 to $48,000.
They're just in a position where they believe their costs have increased so much that it's just not worth it for them to take our animals for the same amount as we paid them this year.
The Humane Society is not a for-profit shelter. The increase in wages, animal medical care, and utilities is why their old contract with the city is insufficient.
I hear people saying, well, there's a dispute or a conflict. I've talked with the president of the Humane Society pretty much every day. We get along great. It's just one of those things, right? You offer a contract, people can take it or not, and it's just part of doing business. Everybody just honestly just has to do what they think is best to serve their communities.
If there's no compromise between the city of Carthage and the Humane Society, the police department will look for other options for animal control. In Carthage, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Carthage Humane Society workers there declined an interview. Now, as Amber just said, if the city of Carthage and Humane Society are not in agreement by July 17th, the Humane Society will not be the city's animal shelter. It's the first in 74 years. A popular intersection in Pittsburgh was temporarily shut down today because of an accident. A semi carrying an oversized load in a trailer attempted to turn from 4th Street onto Broadway, but its cargo was too high, took out the traffic light. The road has since been cleared. Fireworks stand owners and customers now face the effects of inflation this 4th of July season. According to the American Pyrotechnics Association, overall costs of fireworks are up 35% this year. Crazy Debbie's Fireworks in Joplin said they've been surprisingly not affected too much by a lack of customers this season.
So last year after COVID, it was just nuts. Like, people were ready to get out of the house. Even the COVID year, it was awesome. Like, people, I think if they want to buy fireworks, they're going to buy them. And it's like anything else.
For information on when or if area communities are putting on fireworks shows, just go to our website. We have all that there, koamnewsnow.com/events. Pittsburgh Police Department is reminding people about the city's firework ordinances. From now to July 5th, fireworks can be discharged between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. On the 4th in particular, they can be popped from 7 in the morning to midnight.
The city ordinances do not allow for the discharge of fireworks past midnight on the 4th of July. That would be in violation of the city ordinances, and you can receive a citation for unlawful discharge of a firework.
Officials ask that you check your city's firework ordinances. If you don't live in Pittsburgh, just check them before setting any fireworks off. We celebrate our nation's independence on the 4th of July, right? Well, Watered Gardens in Joplin is raising money to help the independence of men. They're selling fireworks to raise money for the Forge program. Forge is a 16 to 18-month work readiness program for men who are cycling in and out of incarceration, rehab, homelessness, or a combination of all the above. All funds being raised will be put back into the campus to help sponsor a student.
The one thing that I love about the Forge program is it truly has changed the trajectory of many of these men's lives. They come in with substance abuse, being addicted, estranged from family, and a year and a half later, they've just truly been set free from a lot of the bondages that they come to us with.
It costs about $5,000 to sponsor one person who goes through the Forge program. As we head into the holiday weekend, the price of your July 4th cookout could be burnt by inflation. Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble is hosting a cookout of his own in Naperville, Illinois.
We've got a great spread at our 4th of July cookout, but yours is going to cost you a lot more than it did last year. The American Farm Bureau Federation says Americans will pay about 17% more for their 4th of July cookout compared to a year ago. We've got our producer Phil on the grill as we go item by item to show you how much more each item is going to cost. We'll start with ground beef, up 36% from last year. Chicken breast, up 33%. And they trust me to cook the pork and the beans. Those are up 33% from a year ago. Here's our side table with all of the fixins. The must-haves, like hamburger buns, those are up 16% from last year. Potato salad right in front of those, that's up 19% from last year. And fresh squeezed lemonade, got to have that on a hot July day. That's up 22% from last year. I want to draw your attention to this side of the table because if you only want to feed your guests items that have gone down in price from a year ago, here's all you'll have to serve: potato chips, sliced cheese, and strawberries. And by the way, even our decorations cost more than they did last year. We got these at Dollar Tree, where everything used to be $1, now $1.25 for these decorations. Everything going up in price this 4th of July, except for a few items. But you can enjoy a cookout nonetheless. Just don't drive too far because gas prices way up from a year ago too. In Naperville, Illinois, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Nice spread there, Trimble. Missouri Governor Mike Parson has approved some state funding, cut others though. The governor has signed a roughly $48 billion state budget. He also slashed funding that lawmakers had set aside for tax refunds for middle-income taxpayers. The budget still includes enough money to fully pay for the state's share of public K through 12 busing costs, as well as a program to increase teacher pay to at least $38,000 a year. The budget also pays for expanded access to the Medicaid health care program. After a nearly week-long trip in Europe, President Biden is shifting gears, turning his focus to the challenges at home. And at the top of his mind is the fight over abortion. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in D.C. with the latest.
Faced with growing pressure to take executive action on abortion rights, President Biden held a virtual meeting with Democratic governors working to shore up access to the procedure in their states.
Your zip code should not determine your rights.
The administration is struggling with few options. President Biden urged a Senate suspension of the 60-vote threshold required to pass most legislation to make it easier for abortion rights to become law. However, even he admits the Senate will likely never do so without the support of Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema.
We don't have the votes in the Senate to change the filibuster at the moment. That means we need 2 more votes now.
A Fox News poll shows 51% of voters think abortion should be legal all or most of the time. The split leaving some to wonder whether a middle ground can be reached.
We've seen polls for a long time that a majority of Americans opposed striking down Roe v. Wade, but at the same time they supported serious restrictions on abortion nationwide.
But several pro-choice advocates disagree and are vowing to take the fight all the way to the ballot box.
We must increase the political pressure so that politicians who pass these laws have no place to hide and are held to account for the consequences of their cruel policies.
An AP poll shows 22% of Americans consider women's or abortion rights a top priority. That's up from just 8% in December. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
KOM News at 9. And Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another 4-state hero. Gerald Dietz served in the U.S. Navy from 1967 to 1971. Native of Pittsburgh, Dietz was in Vietnam. We are proud to thank and salute Gerald Dietz. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Doug Heddy's next with the complete look at the forecast, and later, Webb City Baseball has a new head coach. Going to hear from the new leader of the Cards program in sports.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another hot one for us today. Mid-90s for afternoon highs, and it's been fairly dry. Of course, heading into the 4th of July holiday weekend, lots of fireworks, and the ground is pretty crunchy across the region. So it is dry. We're not in a drought by any means, but it is dry outside. So at least keep that in the back of your mind as you go through the weekend when you're shooting off fireworks, of course, over the next several nights. But we do have a little bit of rain in the forecast. It's just not going to be widespread by any means. Temperatures are still sitting into the mid-80s out there right now. And we have a little bit of a heat index, not a huge deal, but a little bit of a one. We've been watching some scattered thunderstorms in our northern counties earlier this evening. All those have pretty much fallen apart since we've lost the daytime heating, but just a little bit farther north with a weak little wave, you can see thunderstorms starting to increase along the I-70 corridor moving into the west side of the Kansas City metro. And these will continue to expand, and some of these are going to work into our northern counties, I would say, really from Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton later on tonight. Everybody south of that most likely will end up staying dry, and you can see these kind of scattered thunderstorms out across central and western parts of Kansas. All right, let's go through time. Through the overnight hours, look at the thunderstorms. Again, mainly our northern counties. Maybe get as far down as Pittsburgh. I think the metro will stay dry late tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's 9 a.m. So if you're heading up to Stockton Lake, you are going to start the day with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Our lakes in our southern counties, you guys look okay. Scattered showers through the morning and then partly sunny skies by the afternoon. But I do think by evening we'll see a few isolated pop-up storms. Temperatures maybe a little bit better for us tomorrow, a little bit cooler. 73 in the morning, 88 by noon. High temp right around 93. We'll see the winds out of the northeast in the morning. We have a front is going to kind of stall out on top of us and then start to lift back toward the north on Sunday. Isolated thunderstorms continue tomorrow night. Remember, isolated is like one here, one there. Scattered is all over the place, just not a wall of rain. We start the day in the mid-70s on Sunday, and then we heat up mid-90s during the afternoon. And again, a few isolated thunderstorms trying to get going. But again, these are going to be very hit and miss. On the 4th of July itself, mid to upper 90s, most of us dry. Look at the triple digits moving in. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So a very hot, humid week next week as temperatures right around that triple digit mark. 93 tomorrow, 96 on Sunday, 97 on the 4th, 100 Tuesday, 102 Wednesday, and a pair of 103s next Thursday and Friday. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thank you. Coming up, another story out of Russia.
The trial of an American basketball star begins outside Moscow. I'm Amy Kellogg in Milan, and I will have the latest coming up.
WNBA star BRITTNey Griner appearing in a Moscow courtroom for the first day of her trial. The athlete's family is pleading with U.S. officials to secure her release. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Amy Kellogg has more.
American basketball star BRITTNey Griner standing trial on drug charges just outside Moscow on Friday. During the hearing, the judge listened to testimony from witnesses, including an airport customs official. Griner's next court date was set for July 7th.
2 prosecution witnesses were called. Everything is going according to the plan, strictly by the book.
The Phoenix Mercury star was arrested in Moscow back in February. Authorities say they found vape cartridges in her luggage that contained cannabis-derived oil. On Friday, the judge formally told Griner she's charged with intentionally importing narcotics into Russia. U.S. officials say she was wrongfully detained.
I can assure you that the United States government at the very highest levels is working very hard to bring Ms. Griner, as well as all wrongfully detained U.S. citizens, safely home.
In Russia, less than 1% of criminal defendants are acquitted. But unlike in the U.S., an acquittal can be overturned. Griner's wife is pleading with the Biden administration to do more to secure BRITTNey's release.
This is not our typical system. So BG is not walking into a situation where there is a balance of justice.
Russian media has speculated that Griner could be swapped for Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. He's currently serving a 25-year sentence for conspiring to sell weapons intended to kill Americans. If convicted on drug charges, Griner faces up to 10 years in prison. In Milan, Italy, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
So ahead, some more controversy coming from the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court's latest environmental ruling putting climate change activists up in arms. I'm Kevin Cork with details straight ahead.
First lawsuits are filed after an Amtrak train collision and derailment in northern Missouri that left 4 people dead, 150 injured. Amtrak and BNSF Railway Company filed a federal lawsuit against the concrete contracting company that owns the dump truck hit Monday by the passenger train. That lawsuit blames MS Contracting of Brookfield, Missouri for the crash, saying the train was, quote, clearly visible and the truck driver was careless in crossing the tracks. The crossing where the collision occurred has no lights, signals, or gates to warn of an approaching train. Climate change activists are calling it a devastating setback towards combating dangerous greenhouse gas emissions, but Others are praising the U.S. Supreme Court's decision to restrict power from the Environmental Protection Agency, preventing it from setting caps on emissions for power plants. Fox News correspondent Kevin Cork takes a closer look.
The Supreme Court issuing yet another polarizing decision with Thursday's 6-3 ruling stating that the Environmental Protection Agency does not have the authority under the Clean Air Act to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from power plants that contribute to climate change. Instead, the High Court's conservative majority believes elected officials in Congress, not unelected members of the independent federal agency, have the power to determine limits on those emissions.
The 3 liberal justices were in dissent, and they said that this was a bad move, that here the court was stripping away from EPA important tools.
The ruling is also expected to make it more challenging for the Biden administration to reach its climate goals, with the president striving for power plant emissions to be net zero by 2035, an ambitious objective with power plants generating about 30% of CO2 emissions.
This is a setback in our fight against climate change when we're already far off track.
But some, like the Attorney General of West Virginia, the second largest coal-producing state in the nation, are pleased by the decision.
Regardless of where you are on the issue of climate change, it's important to play by the rules. Don't try to use the agency process to short-circuit Congress's role under the Constitution.
I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
All right, next, a look back at something interesting that happened earlier this week. A lot of people wanting to know what time breakfast ended at a popular fast food chain. So something strange happened Tuesday. A search craze, a lot of people desperately needing to know a breakfast answer. Google Trends saw a lot of early birds needing to know Chick-fil-A's breakfast window wasn't flying by. The terms most search queries were, what time does Chick-fil-A stop selling breakfast? When does Chick-fil-A stop selling breakfast? And how late does Chick-fil-A serve breakfast? Online queries jumped 3,300%. Why does Chick foodies want Gaga? Why they went Gaga isn't known, but to ease inquiring minds, just in case if you still don't know, Chick-fil-A stops selling breakfast at 10:30 a.m. Gotta get it, right? Gotta get it sometimes. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to share a warning from the Joplin Police Department about counterfeit money that's been circulating.
A travel nightmare for many this holiday weekend. I'm Madison Allworth at Newark Liberty International Airport. More on what travelers can expect coming up.
Beware of funny money. The Joplin Police Department says it's been investigating many cases of counterfeit money used throughout the city, victimizing local businesses, marketplaces, people selling online, and even garage sales. They've released that. Take a good look at it. Pictures of the type of fake money police are seeing on a regular basis. Some of it's marked that it's for motion pictures. If you take a good look at it, okay, it's showing up in various denominations, so you need to look at the cash closely to check for authenticity. The Quapaw Nation kicked off powwow today. Despite the intense heat, people came out to enjoy important traditions. There's also some prize money handed out and some other fun activities.
Just a celebration of life, you know. We bring, like I said, people want to come home, visit family they may have not seen all year long, so we invite, it's just a big celebration for us, basically a homecoming.
This is the 150th year of the Quapaw powwow. Friday evening, a good evening to celebrate our nation's independence a bit early. People were invited to Commerce High School for that city's 4th of July celebration. There's some music, as we're hearing, a gun raffle, and other vendors offering food and fun. Kids in Pittsburgh today enjoyed the day at a summer camp. The city of Pittsburgh hosts a summer-long camp for 5 to 12-year-olds called Camp Now and Then. KOAM's Yana Hatala was there to experience the fun times.
Today was water day, so we're doing water balloons, water ball, water slide kickball. Whole summer, our last week is the first week of August. We go on field trips. We're going to the Tulsa Aquarium this year. We also go to the Wacky Wednesdays at the museum here. We go to the pool twice a week to go swimming. We do crafts every day. We provide lunch for our campers and 2 snacks. And we take them from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30 at night. Every week it's a different themed, and we have different activities every day. to get children outside, off electronics. We do water games, we go to story time, we do things that they want to do. And we ask them sometimes, do you want to go to the park or do you want to play a water game? And they pick.
Fun times. Camp, by the way, costs $16 a day. Shoppers may spend less this year for back-to-school shopping. One forecasting research firm says spending for back-to-school items, which usually starts after July 4th, it's coming up, right? Is going to see just a 5.5% gain in spending. Last year's school shopping was up more than 13%. Factors affecting the fall off include inflation, of course, no more stimulus money, supply chain disruptions, rising interest rates, and declining personal savings. Some consumers worried about medical debt hurting credit reports will be getting peace of mind soon. Starting today, actually, 3 major credit reporting firms, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, won't count paid medical debt on reports used by banks, landlords, and others to determine credit worthiness. Consumers will have a year to resolve delinquent medical debt sent to collection agencies before reporting it. Unpaid medical debt under $500 also won't be reported. Changes will eliminate 70% of medical debt on reports. Flight cancellations and delays soaring this holiday weekend, leaving many travelers just frustrated. Fox Business Network's Madison Allworth has the latest from Newark Liberty International Airport.
Airlines are struggling to get flights off the ground, and a surge of holiday travelers this weekend is only making the situation tougher. 3.5 million Americans are expected to take to the skies this weekend. That's up from last year. And experts fear the volume of travelers will push airports to the breaking point.
I do get stressed sometimes, especially when the airport looks like this. It's actually pretty packed.
This travel nightmare unfolding for weeks now at airports across the country. Major unions representing airline workers say at least 15% of flights that carriers originally planned for June through August have been dropped, with not enough staff to operate them.
We went through a lot with the pandemic, a lot of operational challenges, one we're experiencing now with our staffing crisis. We feel management is capable of solving that problem by not overscheduling the airline.
More passengers, fewer flights, and fewer workers. A recipe for disaster.
Our flight on American was delayed because of crew, so we're going to miss our connection.
Over the last 5 days, there have been hundreds of flights canceled each day, leading up to the 4th of July holiday weekend. AAA saying this holiday weekend is expected to be the busiest in years.
I think it's our busiest summer since the pandemic. I think there's certainly been some challenges in the industry that we're hearing with overcapacity and trying to meet the demand.
As long as the flight isn't delayed or canceled, that's fine, but that's what you get insurance for at the same time.
If you're traveling this weekend, make sure you arrive to the airport early and stay on top of flight alerts. At Newark Liberty International Airport, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
Pay raises could be coming for yet another group of airline pilots. Speaking of travel again, the CEO of American Airlines says they've offered raises up to 17% in a new contract with their pilots. This comes less than a week after United Airlines reached an agreement including more than 14% in total raises. Short staffing in the industry has been linked, as we just heard about, short staffing has been linked to poor scheduling and undesirable working conditions. Delta Airlines and Southwest Airlines pilots have picketed within the last 2 weeks. And a bit later, they are gas guzzlers, but also a nice, comfy, roomy way to travel and explore. Going to hear about some decent RV sales despite these high gas prices.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another hot one for us today. Mid-90s for afternoon highs, and it's been fairly dry. Of course, heading into the 4th of July holiday weekend, lots of fireworks, and the ground is pretty crunchy across the region. So it is dry. We're not in a drought by any means, but it is dry outside. So at least keep that in the back of your mind as you go through the weekend when you're shooting off fireworks, of course, over the next several nights. But we do have a little bit of rain in the forecast. It's just not going to be widespread by any means. Temperatures are still sitting into the mid-80s out there right now, and we have a little bit of a heat index, not a huge deal, but a little bit of a one. We've been watching some scattered thunderstorms in our northern counties earlier this evening. All those have pretty much fallen apart since we've lost the daytime heating, but just a little bit farther north with a weak little wave, you can see thunderstorms starting to increase along the I-70 corridor moving into the west side of the Kansas City metro. And these will continue to expand. And some of these are going to work into our northern counties, I would say, really from Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, later on tonight. Everybody south of that most likely will end up staying dry. And you can see these kind of scattered thunderstorms out across central and western parts of Kansas. All right, let's go through time, through the overnight hours. Look at the thunderstorms. Again, mainly our northern counties. Maybe get as far down as Pittsburgh. I think the metro will stay dry late tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's 9 a.m. So if you're heading up to Stockton Lake, you are going to start the day with scattered showers and thunderstorms. Our lakes in our southern counties, you guys look okay. Scattered showers through the morning and then partly sunny skies by the afternoon. But I do think by evening we'll see a few isolated pop-up storms. Temperatures maybe a little bit better for us tomorrow, a little bit cooler. 73 in the morning, 88 by noon. High temp right around 93. We'll see the winds out of the northeast in the morning. We have a front is going to kind of stall out on top of us and then start to lift back toward the north on Sunday. Isolated thunderstorms continue tomorrow night. Remember, isolated is like one here, one there. Scattered is all over the place, just not a wall of rain. We start the day in the mid-70s on Sunday, and then we heat up mid-90s during the afternoon. And again, a few isolated thunderstorms trying to get going. But again, these are going to be very hit and miss. On the 4th of July itself, mid to upper 90s, most of us dry. Look at the triple digits moving in. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So a very hot, humid week next week as temperatures right around that triple digit mark. 93 tomorrow, 96 on Sunday, 97 on the 4th, 100 Tuesday, 102 Wednesday, and a pair of 103s next Thursday and Friday. Jordan?
The Joplin Outlaws opened a two-game set with the Sedalia Bombers last night at Joe Becker Stadium. Now, the Outlaws only managed one run, falling in that one 4-1. And Joplin back on the field tonight, trying to earn the split against the Bombers. And they were down 3-0, but they scored 4 in the 6th. So right now they lead at 4-3 in the top of the 8th inning. Liam Bailey is 3 for 3 on the night with a pair of RBIs for Joplin. Well, today's the opening day of the Heart of America Firecracker Showcase in Southwest Missouri. Webb City plays 2 today. Now, they started the day with a 1-0 win against the 417 Reds this morning. Webb City back on the field this afternoon, facing the Missouri Athletics, aiming for a 2-0 start. Pick it up, bottom of the 2nd inning, Drew Vonderhaar pokes one through the left side. 1 run scores, then another with Christian Brock also coming in. That ties the game up. And next batter is Gage Chapman. Fights one off the other way. Vonderhaar scores easily. RBI single for Chapman. Webb City takes the lead. Now, moments later, pitch gets away. Landon Johnson comes home. That extends Webb City's lead. Finally, we're still in the 2nd inning. Kaylor Darnell pops one into right. It would get down. Runner scores. Darnell trots safely into 2nd. Webb City wins 2 today, taking this one 13-6. Well, staying with Webb City baseball, the Cardinals have a new head coach. Webb City High School has hired Andrew Donig to lead the baseball program. And Donig played his college ball at Missouri Southern and has been an assistant coach with Webb City for the last 9 seasons. He takes over a program, like most other programs at Webb City, that has high expectations every season.
If you didn't have pressure, it wouldn't be such a great job. The pressure to win is obviously great, but, we have great kids and, our coaching staff is really good. We just ask our kids to show up every day and work hard and get better every single day, and hopefully those equal wins in the spring. And, like I said, the kids in Webb City, they're great. They come in the weight room. They obviously work hard.
You can check out our full story with Coach Donig on the sports page at KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, the USFL Championship game is Sunday right here on Fox 14. As we go to break, here's Fox's Joel Klatt with a preview of the USFL season finale.
Well, it all comes down to Sunday. The USFL Championship is finally here. The Philadelphia Stars and the Birmingham Stallions. They're going to knock it around on July 3rd. How about that win for Philadelphia in the semifinal? This team feels like a team of destiny. After getting off to a rough start, they've certainly been one of the best teams in the league here in the back half of the year. And how about being one of the best teams for the entirety of the year? It was 8 straight wins to start things off for the Birmingham Stallions. Jamar Smith, Victor Bolden, these guys are electric players, and it should be a fantastic night.
AAA predicting 42 million people are going to hit the open roads this 4th of July. Some of them are going to be in RVs, despite the steep cost to fill them up. Fox News multimedia reporter Ashley Soriano has more on this story.
It's been 2 years since COVID hit. Now we're dealing with inflation. One couple who recently renovated their RV says they're adjusting their summer road trip plans. But overall, the consensus among the RV connoisseurs I spoke with, well, they say they're not going to let penny pinching get in the way of their love for the outdoors.
Come with me. Jack's buddy and her husband are the property spouses, like the Property Brothers, but for RVs. They started their company Freebird RVs in 2020 during the pandemic.
I never even held a drill before I started this business.
The demand for RVs is soaring, even with higher fuel costs.
It's probably around $250, $275 to fill the whole tank.
The couple rents out RVs, but most of their time is spent renovating them, going from this.
This is one of the newest RVs that I just picked up from Colorado.
To this.
So this is what it looks like when we're in the middle of it.
To this.
This was a full custom build out that we did.
Jack's buddy says the rental side has slowed down, but she has a wait list for her customized ones. The RV Industry Association says 2021 was a record year for manufacturing.
What we are seeing in the RV industry is that it is not deterring demand. High fuel prices don't mean that people aren't going to go RVing, but we do see behavior changes.
Jan Silverstein and his wife are 2 of the millions of people who will set out on a road trip this summer. Perfect. Despite how much it costs to fill up the gas tank.
We're going about 3,200 miles. This gets 7 miles to the gallon, and gas is anywhere from 5 1/4 to, well, we've seen it in Mendocino County at almost $10, and we're going through there, but I guarantee you I won't be buying any gas there. We're making a pretty good loop instead of just going from A to Z.
Some people use RVs as homes, but for the travelers, they serve as hotels. You can cook your own food, and for a change of scenery, just put it in drive. In Las Vegas, Ashley Soriano, Fox News.
New Ninja Turtles movie coming to Netflix. Hollywood Nation coming your way. Epic movie release dates, animated summer fun on the way. We got some more stuff for you too. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin takes a look in the Hollywood Nation.
Movie calendar moves, streaming adventures, and countdown to top TV honors in the Hollywood Nation. J.B. Smoove and Melissa Fumero will announce nominees for the 74th Emmy Awards July 12th on Emmys.com. The 2 actor-comedians are also co-stars in the upcoming Netflix comedy series Blockbuster. This year's Emmys will be held live from LA September 12th, airing on NBC and streaming on Peacock. It's Epic Saga versus Epic Saga Thanksgiving 2023. Dune Part 2 is postponed to November 17th next year, the same release date for the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Also taking its place on the big screen schedule, the MonsterVerse follow-up in the Godzilla vs. Kong series is now set for March 15th, 2024. In today's first looks, it's Netflix picks of summer series and films, including August's Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, Ivy and Bean, and Lost Ollie, about a toy searching for the boy who lost him, with famous voices including Mary J. Blige and Jonathan Groff. The photos were part of a big announcement by the streamer about many kid-friendly adventures in store this summer, the CB Stand Kung Fu Panda the Dragon Knight among them. And a Netflix family summer activity truck making several stops on a U.S. tour starting July 9th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
A lot of stuff there. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with more video of a game of water kickball hosted by the city of Pittsburgh. Hey, have a great, safe 4th of July weekend. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.